Welcome to this video on using outline form in Word. This is a tool that I think you're going to find very helpful. I'm Dr. Hazeltine. I'm a professor at Cornerstone University, and I teach the final course in the doctoral program. As you can see, the document we're looking at is from Walden University. This is actually my dissertation that I did at Walden. It was a fully online university and one of the first to offer a doctorate by distance. And so I understand the challenges of doing that kind of work online and the patience and perseverance it requires. But I also learned the importance of understanding Word and the power of using the tools that are built into Word to make my life easier. Now, a couple of caveats. The Walden University has their own standards for format and layout. And when I did this, we used APA 5th edition, or perhaps, I guess it was 6th edition, not sure, but it's not the current one. So there's some differences there. But let me just show you how this goes. So you have all the introductory pages. That's very standard. Then you get to the table of contents. Typically, your section 1 and section 3 headings are given to you by the university, and you don't typically mess with them. They're fairly standard across all universities. So background, problem, purpose, theory, definitions, scope, all of that, significance. However, when you get to the literature review, and that's the chapter I'm going to use today, because it tends to be the biggest one and the one where you're having to move things around because the outline is not fixed for you. You are in control of this outline. Cornerstone does set some broad headings, but a lot of this is going to be developed by the student as subheadings. So in my case, Walden left this completely open to us how we were going to approach this. So I began the first section, the nature of school bullying, and always you work from the broad to the narrow. So we're taking the topic of school bullying generally, because that's the problem area. People are interested in that. It's a hot topic, and I wanted to get into that right away. So we talk about that. And then a related issue, which is the nature of character education, because I wanted to see how these things work together in a Christian school environment. And character education ought to work against bullying. So then I had 3 subheadings for that. Then character education in Christian schools, so I'm pulling those together. And then character education and bullying, pulling those 2 together. And I could have changed that order around. But again, all of these headings are mine, and the subheadings are mine, and the order is mine. And so there's some choices to make. And I went back and forth on several of these things. But let me show you what happens if I use the outline view. I'm going to go back to the top of the section here. And I go up to view. Now on a Mac, it's off the screen. So the very, very top menu, you go to view, and you have the option of print layout, web layout, or outline. I go to outline, and all of a sudden my study appears here in a completely different format. So if I want to go to, let's see here, let me get back to the lit review here, see if I can get there by clicking. Will it let me do it? Section 216. There we go. Lit review. So this is all mine. And because I had to make choices, I used this outline view. I used it for the entire dissertation. It's very helpful to use. Let me show you why. So let's go down to this one here about character education in Christian schools, character education and bullying. Which should come first? A little bit of a dealer's choice. I could have gone with the character education and bullying. So let's say I decided that's the way I wanted to go. I can grab this section here and move it up above, and now it precedes the character education in Christian schools. It's a legitimate choice, but what I've done is I have actually moved several pages of material. I didn't have to highlight it all and cut and paste and hope that it was going to work out. I've just changed pages and pages of material just with that one change. And I can show you what's in here. If I go up here to this minus sign or plus sign, this is going to either collapse or expand the material. So plus, and I've now expanded it. And so here's the material I have under Christian education and bullying. It's all there, everything from the text. Then bullying in private schools, all there. Bullying in Christian schools, and on it goes. And then if I go to this section here, I can expand that And again, that's all there. But I can collapse everything. I can collapse that section. I can collapse this. Let's grab it all the way up here. I can collapse a subsection. So if I grab that subsection, I can collapse that, get that out of the way. So I can just work on this subsection, and I can add in a paragraph of new material. I just read a research article and I want to put that in here. So it's so easy to put it exactly where I want. If I don't like where I put it, I can just grab it and move it up somewhere else, put it up there. So that's how I'm going to introduce this section. So it's so easy to move material back and forth, change it, and work with one section of your paper. I know students are sometimes, grabbing a paragraph from page 58 and they want to move it to page 17, and that can be a slow process of getting it from one place to the other. And your page numbers are always changing as you add and delete material. So you can cut a paragraph or two or a page out of page 14 and to move it to page 58, but because you cut all that material out, page 58 doesn't have the same content. Using outline form, it's very easy. Everything right there in front of you. So I'm going to take that extra paragraph out. Don't want that. But let's collapse this. I go here to my minus sign, collapse. Everything's down here now. I'm just working on this section. I can collapse the entire thing on character education. Collapse it all down. Now, these are my level 1 APA headings. And the only way that Word is going to do this for you is that you define APA headings in the style structure of Word. We do that on a Mac. It's at the very top menu, Format. I go to Format, I go to Style, and then I take, it says right here, APA Level 1, but I created that. So if I go back to the print layout for a second, and here was the Level 1 heading. This would be APA 6. So there's my level 1 heading. It's supposed to be centered. It's supposed to be boldface. So you type that in, you get it set up, and then you go into Format Style, and you won't have one like that. So you create a new one. You make a new style here, and you specify, you can give it a name. I gave it APA Level 1. And exactly what it's supposed to be, what kind of heading it is, style based on that heading, whatever, if I'm making a new one. It thinks I'm making a new one, and I'm not going to. If you do that, you can have APA body, you can have level 1, level 2, level 3. You probably don't need more than the level 3, but you can make level 4. And you create those styles. Now Word knows that those headings are built into your paper. They represent major chunks of your paper, and it'll spot those styles and automatically use them for your outline view. So you go to outline view, and sure enough, character education bullying is right there. If I want to expand that, I hit the plus sign, or I can collapse it and I can go, I can add one, sorry, collapse it again, go to one with subs. Okay, here we go. So I can expand the entire thing, collapse the entire thing. So if I don't even want to see any of my subheadings, I can take them out. If I want to see subheadings, I can expand them. If I want to see more, I can expand them again. And so depending on how many levels you have, allows you to determine how much you're going to expand it. So again, I may just want to take that subheading out and take this one out so I can add in a new heading, those kinds of things. All right, so it's a very powerful tool. One of the things to keep in mind with a paper of this length and a dissertation in general is that you will be continually revising. You're going to be moving paragraphs, moving pages, changing sections, adding entire sections. It's not like any paper you've ever done before. Most papers are one and done. You finish the paper, you submit it online, and you're done. Maybe it comes back and it's a draft and you edit it once. That's it. This paper is going to be edited multiple times, again and again and again and again. You're going to lose count of how many times you have to revise it, because every time you revise it, you introduce new material, new ideas, new problems at the same time. And as it gets better and better, your chair and reader are going to focus in on more nitpicky details, okay? Things that they might have just said, okay, I'm not going to talk about that now, but I am going to talk about it later on in the process. So it's an iterative process. You're not done until you're done, but having an outline, a well-developed outline, and using the outline form of Word is hugely valuable. So I encourage you to learn how to do that, create the styles for yourself, and you can come up to the entire paper here, and I can go to, well, this is my first headings here. I can take this, I can collapse it, collapse everything. I can take everything in the paper and collapse it all if I want. And it's really, it's not doing what I want it to do now. Okay. I think that's it, and I will close there.